Go ahead and call the meeting to order. All rise, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just want to remind everybody that this is a public meeting. We are being recorded audio and visually as well. And if you're going to address the Board of Commissioners, make sure you identify yourself and where you're from. Awards, recognitions, and correspondence. Okay. Yeah, seeing none. Acknowledgment of minutes of previous minutes, November 4th, 2020.
Move approval. Second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Any additions to the agenda?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay. None. Public input, recognition of visitors. That's easy. Business items. Number 1, road renaming. And Megan, are you speaking to this one?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Megan Green. I am a county planner and also the goal addressing coordinator. This order of today is to rename Dominique Lane to Shady Drive Extension. Dominique Lane is a private easement that is currently only served by 2 properties. Those 2 properties are the only ones that also abut Dominique Lane. Each property has currently been addressed, and both property owners have signed the application and are requesting the name change. The order before you is to either approve or deny the renaming of Dominique Lane to Shady Drive Extension.
Have there been any correspondence or phone calls to this point?
None.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of order RD 2020-15. Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, number 2, security system upgrade.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm not used to the meeting being in the afternoon. Dan and I, Director of Administrative Services. The units that we installed now that the staff would handle, we have 3 units out there and video units that record all the cameras that are around the building, with inside and outside. 2 of them were the original ones that were installed in 2005, and then later in 2010 we added more cameras as part of the Oregon State security upgrades. That one actually died last year, the one that we put in 2010. Now one of the original ones have died, and just to replace with a new DVR is $5,600. But we still have the camera that we installed back in 2005, which, if you've seen the security cameras, you can't really make out who's in there. Yeah, so they're very poor quality. I mean, they're 15-year-old technology, and we didn't have the ability to record high resolution back then. This space was expensive. To replace the entire system, replacing the DVRs and adding cameras or replacing the cameras with new ones is $15,085. I talked with the state courts and Mike Johnson about getting the courts to pay for half. They have agreed to pay for half of that, so our total cost would be a little over $7,500 for it. So for a few more thousand than just replacing one of the items, we can get a whole new system there. Just so you know, too, we would be paying for it, and we would bill the state courts back for their share.
Dan, I've already talked about this, so I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Maintenance payable.
Let's see, I think I had one, did I have the election?
Oh, I'm
payable?
sorry. Election payable. I just clicked on the wrong one.
Okay, sorry about that. The election payable before you there is for bin mailing services. It's a total of $6,506.13. They do all the printing on the envelopes, the stuffing of all of our ballots and inserts, and then take them down to the post office to be mailed on the day to be mailed. And now with us going to all the older voters, we have 10,000 more voters than we had back at the last presidential election. This is just makes things a lot more easy for our staff because they don't have to hand stuff them, and we basically removed all the errors. Before, sometimes people would make errors. Their equipment, we haven't had any trouble with the misstuffing. So it makes for a more credible, more robust election for us to do. And that payable is before you we budget for this every year. And so it's just over the $5,000 amount.
And is this, do I read this right? Does mailing include the postage?
No, it does not. They store the ballots and they take all those 46,000 ballots down to the post office. And they actually deliver them down there, so that's why they mail them on Wednesday, and that's why we get them on Thursday here or on Fridays. So it also speeds up the process of getting them there. In order for us to do that, we would have to drive them to Portland. And the other thing too is if we send them to our local post office, besides taking longer, we would have to pay more postage. So we save money because they're sorted, and when they're taken to a main distribution site like Portland, we get a discount on their mailing. So we do save money on our mailing because they do it for us.
So how many were made? How many voters?
46,000. I can't remember the total count.
I move approval. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now let's try the maintenance payable.
Now, the next one before you is the payable for the repairs done at the Stafford Hansel heating system, which HMS did. There were several broken items, and they had to replace several things. And it's just part of the fact that they're getting older, and we have to do these repairs. It's just part of the nature of the beast. And again, it was over $5,000, so the total for it was $11,873.
Dan, I just got to ask the question, what's the taco bearing frame?
I don't know, but that's a pretty expensive taco. I was thinking the same thing.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
You too. Sheriff's Office vehicle leases.
Hey, this is Jim Littlefield, Under Sheriff. Hello, sirs. Before we get started on the business item, I had Deputy Hayes call in for a recognition from a letter from a citizen that we received. I have it now, and I'd like to read it, but unless Commissioner Offring has it.
I don't have it here. Jim, go ahead and read it.
It begins, Dear Sheriff Rowan, I wanted to pass on my deepest appreciation to you and Deputy Hayes. On November 2nd, 2020, I had contact with Deputy Hayes on the river while I was fishing. We had a pleasant conversation. Deputy Hayes was professional and friendly. After that contact, I returned to the boat launch and loaded my boat onto its trailer and my exhausted 14-year-old Blue Heeler Courage into my back passenger seat. While strapping the boat and checking for weeds, I got into a conversation with other fishermen launching their boats. Afterwards, I left and returned home to Kennewick, Washington. When I opened the back door to help Courage out at home, I discovered he was not there. He normally goes to sleep on the back floorboard, and I thought nothing about it until I was shocked to find that he was gone. I immediately called your office and explained the situation. I inquired if Deputy Hayes was still there. While traveling back to the launch, I received a call from the dispatch center advising me that Deputy Hayes had seen Courage and would return to see if he was still in the area. When I arrived, I found Courage waiting with Deputy Hayes and a park employee. I cannot think of a time that I felt such relief. My wife and I rescued Courage when he was 7 months old, and he is a large part of our family. I know people are quick to criticize, especially law enforcement personnel. The public seldom stops to say thank you for the outstanding work they do. Deputy Hayes went out of his way to help a citizen he was not obligated to help. I am writing this to thank you for hiring and maintaining outstanding deputies like Deputy Hayes. I was hoping you could pass on to him our appreciation. He is not only a great credit to himself, but also a great credit to the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office as a whole. And this is from Rick and Carrie Rung from Kennewick, Washington. So thank you, Deputy Hayes. We appreciate your service and I wanted to publicly recognize you.
Well, thank you for the recognition. I'm proud and gratified for the position I hold within the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office and happy to serve the people of Umatilla County and its visitors.
Well done.
Congratulations as well. It's a good story and it ended up well.
Well done, and having worked, I was just going to say, having worked with you in the past, I know that that's not uncommon for you to do something like that, so well done.
Okay, so on to the business item. Today we're seeking approval to lease the vehicles for the Sheriff's Office for this fiscal year. 5 Dodge Durangos, 1 Ford F-250 and 1 Dodge Ram 1500, and 1 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This goes along with our lease program through Emergency Responder Services. The company recently, we've discussed this before, but recently opened up an office here in the Pendleton area, and then they were able to negotiate the purchase of the vehicles from a local dealership, Tom Gentry from Hermiston. So the amounts are on the request. These are for 4-year leases for the first set of vehicles, and then a 2-year lease for the Jeep, which will go to our civil division. They put more miles per year on the vehicles, and so we reduced the lease term to 2 years from 4. Any other questions? We have Sergeant Roberts here, Captain Williamson, Sergeant Gregory, and Sergeant Wolverton.
Could
Wow.
I just ask you how it's gone so far with the old vehicles? You know, that used to be a problem that we had, a lot of old junkers sitting around that nobody wanted, so they would sit there until they rusted away. How's it going now under the new lease program?
This is Sergeant Roberts. It's going very well. As you know, we did our first round lease earlier this year, and as part of that, we partnered with Bancorp to sell some of our old fleet. And memory serves, we sold either 10 or 11 vehicles and brought in a little over $30,000 for all of those vehicles. Some of which had very, very high mileage. So I know I personally am very happy with the service we've got and the money coming in on the back end that we just haven't been able to garner before. So it's been working very well.
Have we ever gotten that much return on a vehicle before? On any group of them, per average?
No, not prior to engaging in this program. We looked at the previous 5 years, and I think we had recouped about $1,900 in those 5 years. And so far, on this first round here, we've recouped over $30,000. So there's really no comparison.
One of the things that jumped out at me on this is the inclusion of 7 WatchGuard in-car body cam systems. Does that fully outfit the fleet now? Does everybody have one now?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yep. Let me take off the mask. Sorry. The thing that jumped out at me was the request included 7 additional WatchGuard in-car and body camera systems that will allow UCSO to fully implement cameras in the existing fleet. So does that mean everybody will have, all the rigs and everybody will have a camera now?
That means everybody in patrol, our Marine ATV and our school resource officer will all be outfitted, yes, with in-car and body camera systems. Those extra 7 are going to go on our existing fleet. Initially, we were going to phase them in as we got new vehicles, and discussion was that given the times and the direction that things are going as far as the public expectation of body camera footage, it would be better to just roll those out. So, yeah, we accelerated the purchase of body cameras through the lease program so that we can get everybody outfitted immediately rather than waiting and phasing it in over time.
Great, that's good to hear. That'll save a lot. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I would so move. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. I think this one's you as well, Sheriff's Office ATV.
So this is to follow up on the purchase of ATVs for the ATV program here. We received a grant some time ago to fund the majority of the purchase of these 2 ATVs. I think we received $20,000 in the grant, and went out to bid. Received 2 bids back yesterday, I believe, from 2 vendors, one in Tri-Cities and one in Hermiston. We're recommending that we go with Hermiston Cycle Town. Their bid is $23,185 for fully equipped vehicles according to the bid. We're recommending going with them, and then what the grant does not cover, we would fund out of our operating budget.
And just for the record, the second bid came in at $27,703.20. So $4,000, about $4,600 cheaper. So, okay. All right.
Chairman, I move authorization of the purchase. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right.
Thank you, sirs.
Thank you, gentlemen. Looks like we are going to Tom with the grader purchase.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is part of our annual program to update our road grader fleet. We try to keep our main road grader fleet up 5 years old or newer, simply because it makes economic sense for us. We get 5-year warranties, plus filter packages, and if we turn the grader over with 5 years under 5,000 hours, we get a guaranteed buyback of $200,000. John Deere recently renegotiated their Sourcewell contracting. Before we were getting 42% discount, and now it's up to a 44% discount, which that, with a couple of adjustments that we made in our package, actually brought the purchase price of this grader down just a skosh from the last grader we purchased. Essentially, we're requesting to purchase a brand new 672 GP from Payable Machinery for $321,159.12.
Tom, just as a matter of personal information, the buyback of $200,000, 5 years, 5,000 hours, is that is that favorable compared to just what they would normally be priced for after that period of time?
It can be. but it doesn't have to be. And for instance, what John Deere and Pat Bay are actually banking on here is that the used equipment market is going to stay strong. But a few years back, what we were experiencing was a huge glut in the market, and graders, five-year-old graders were in $125,000 neighborhood. So it's a good deal for us in some markets. It's still a good deal for us, but it's certainly a good deal for the equipment dealership if the market stays strong for them.
We're not required to sell it at that period of time. We can take it off.
We are not. We own these machines. This is not any kind of a lease program. All they're doing is they're putting up up front and saying, look, if you turn back a reasonable machine to us at 5 years or under 5,000 hours with reasonable rubber and continue, we do the oil sampling and everything, then they're guaranteeing us at least $200,000. If we thought we could do better auctioning it, we could certainly keep the grader and auction it. And some of our older machines that we let go over 5 years, well, that's what we do with them. We do put them in the auction, and we've had good luck getting good return on those.
So fundamentally, this isn't any different than trading in a car, is it?
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's no different than trading in a car, except they're guaranteeing you the trade-in value 5 years in advance.
Well, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion? What's that?
I said my second.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oregon Water Commission letter. Just closed out of it. There we go. Okay. Do you want me to do that one? Okay. So a petition has been filed. A petition has been filed with the Oregon Water Commission for it to amend its rules to prohibit new or expanded use of groundwater in excess of 5,000 gallons per day for stock watering in the critical groundwater area. With the lead of NOAA, Northeast Oregon Water Association, a letter in opposition to the petition has been drafted to file with the Commission, and the matter is before the board to approve, Umatilla County being a signer under the letter.
Mr. Chairman, this is a matter that I feel is an expression of an opinion about a certain kind of business. I don't believe our land use laws are intended to do that. If there's an objection to a certain kind of business, it needs to be brought forward in a different way. Changing the land use laws of the state of Oregon, so I object to the way it's being presented, and particularly singling out the stock feeding and dairy businesses as being those that they're after.
So are you in favor of signing the letter then?
Pardon me?
Does that mean you're in favor of signing the letter?
Certainly does.
Okay.
I would move approval of the letter opposing the Oregon Water Commission's rule and authorize the county to be a signer on the letter to the commission.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Motion carries. The North County Livestock District.
Okay, this is coming back before the board for final approval of the Livestock District. About a month ago, you approved it conditionally, condition on the applicant obtaining at least a majority of the landowner's approval that would be within the district. The applicant has brought back a petition that has 53% of the landowners signing it. So it has met the formal requirements for the formation of a livestock district and is before the board for formal approval of the district.
Is it just a simple majority of the landowners?
Yes. Based on owner.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Council, if we approve this, it does not negate our motion about being able to recommend adjustments as needed, does it?
Well, it is now going to be formally a district. I think if you want to change it from here on out, it'd probably have to go through the annexation process.
Chair, I move adoption of order BCC 2020-80.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Levy agreement amendments.
This is coming before the board for approval to amend an agreement regarding the Pendleton Zone 2 levy. Back in April, the county, along with the city of Pendleton and the Umatilla River Water Control District number 1, signed an agreement regarding the repairs and maintenance on the levee. Since that time, the city of Pendleton has been working to try to get reimbursed for the cost of the cleanup on the damage to the levee. The funding for the cleanup was done through a grant from the state of Oregon. The plan is to file claims with FEMA to try to recoup some of the cost of the debris cleanup. The amendment is to memorialize that plan, and it's before the Board of Commissioners for approval on behalf of the county.
Any questions?
I did it,
I'm sorry.
Say that again. I covered you, Bill.
I was just asking if there was any downside to the county as a result of this.
No, we were party to the original agreement, and so this is just to amend it. It's clear in the agreement that the district owns the levee, and the requirements under this amendment is for the district to file the claim and try to get any type of reimbursements from FEMA for the city. So the county itself is not an active participant in the agreement.
It's almost a redundant thing after the board has held its meeting, which I think we did.
That is correct. That was for the district, so this is just, since the county is a party to it, it's before you for that approval.
I move we affirm the action.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Commissioner reports. Commissioner Elfering.
No, I have nothing to add. The conference with AOC is going along well. The sessions that I've sat in on have been good. A little bit of difficulty with some of the technology of the new platform. Walked all over the senator's staff with comments to John on how to get the sound on so I could hear it. But I think it's turning out really rather well. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I think today was a lot smoother than yesterday.
Yes. So I would be remiss in saying, but this time tomorrow, the Association of Oregon Counties will have a new first vice president. Is that correct?
Yes, I hope.
I do believe that's going to be.
Yes, they will have a new first vice president. I hope who it is.
Well,
There's only one candidate, is there?
if history's
That's the funniest thing happened on the way to the White House.
Would be ashamed to run unopposed and lose.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, I don't have anything other than that, the AOC conference too, so with that, we are adjourned.